and welcome to the second episode of the podcast. I'm here with Cherry.
Hello.
And Sean.
Hello.
And unfortunately, Ackbar is back.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Sorry.
We couldn't get rid of Ackbar, unfortunately. Ackbar is still here. He is still alive. He didn't get murdered by anyone in the week between podcasts.
Not yet.
I keep saying podcast, it's POGCast. I can't even get my own podcast name right. But anyway, how have your guys' weeks been? Because I've just spent, for the VOD watchers, 45 minutes going on about my week. So everyone's sick and tired of hearing about me. So it's time that you guys tell us about your week. So how did your weeks go?
Sean.
Yes, Sean.
Let Sean go first. He's the guest, Ackbar.
Mine was fairly okay. I mean, I haven't done that much. Just a lot of like uni work and stuff like that. And not much else. To be honest, that's basically it.
You got very drunk the other day.
Yeah, I was about to say he probably got drunk.
Over the weekend, yeah. I mean, that happens every weekend.
He was a dirty stop out one night. I saw him up until 4 a.m.
Dang.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's like, ooh, and he's like, oh, yeah, that happened.
It do be like that.
I don't tend to remember much of the week.
You said you had a boring week.
The weekends are usually the highlight. It's just that, or it's just uni now, so that's boring. And obviously, I go work on Wednesdays and stuff, but
His inner party animal is loose. He hasn't got a party animal. He's more like a party slug.
party sloth.
No, sloths are cute. No.
Oh, you're saying I'm not cute?
Yes, I'm saying you're not cute.
Wow.
How dare?
Fictional wants to know what you're going to school for.
Oh, well, I'm doing civil engineering. I'm in my third year now, final year.
And he's doing a dissertation on screwdrivers.
Yeah, and it's helping me with that.
And you'll look good screw when I see it.
So you're gonna learn how to murder someone with a screwdriver then, Sean?
Yeah, I'll murder you with it.
I legit have screwdrivers in my drawer. I think I've shown them on stream before. Just to prove that I have them. Or I might not actually.
Show us your screws.
My screwdrivers. I don't have any screws, unfortunately. I have one screwdriver.
That's usually what you use them for.
But I'd asked you a question, Sean. She asked you if has anyone ever majored in uncivil engineering. I can't even read. Help.
I don't think so. I don't even know what that entails.
It's the same thing, except slightly more upsetting. Because nobody acts right.
Just people randomly just randomly drilling screws into things and just...
At 2 a.m.
Yeah. Making loud noise as possible.
Sonic screwdriver.
It is. It's Matt Smith's sonic screwdriver.
Oh, he's terrible.
It doesn't make any noise anymore.
You shut your mouth, Sean.
That Smith's awful.
I liked Matt Smith. And David Tennant. David Tennant's my favorite.
Yeah, David Tennant's the best one, but Matt Smith after him is awful.
David Tennant is the worst doctor ever.
That is just not true.
Well, no, that's true. It's
you.
not true. What's his face? Paul McGann was the worst doctor ever. David Tennant's one up from him. No, actually, David Tennant's better than Peter Capaldi. It goes
Exactly.
Paul McGann, Peter Capaldi, and then David Tennant.
Everyone's saying David Tennant's good in the chat.
Yeah, well,
That's because he is. He is objectively next to Tom Baker, slightly below Tom Baker.
Objectively next to Tom Baker.
Objectively.
Not at all. Not even in the fucking slightest.
I will square up.
I hated David Tennant. I didn't like Christopher Eccleston much.
Oh, I like him. What about the War Doctor? The one that had 3 episodes.
I like John Hurt as an actor, so it was interesting. But there wasn't really enough, and now he's dead, so we can't have any more War Doctor.
I miss the word.
How's everyone else's day, anyway? Cherry and Ackbar. A week.
We can talk Doctor Who later on. After Ackbar's news, we'll do a whole thing on Doctor Who. I promise.
Okay. I'll tell you how my week has gone. I have gotten threatened to not be able to graduate because I've missed too many days. And so I had to go to the doctor for my corona because I've been having symptoms longer than the 10 days. And I needed a note that said that they can't kick me out or not let me graduate because I had COVID. And now I have a bunch of drugs that are helping me get over my symptoms.
That fucking sucks.
Jesus.
Yeah, I got drugs.
I have drugs as well. I can't take them because I've only got an energy drink. But I've got drugs.
Energy drink.
Yeah, don't take paracetamol with energy drinks. It's not really healthy.
Yeah, how do you get better, Cherry?
Yeah, it's been it's not like I've been doing the smartest things, but like I'm at least trying to get better, and it's so disheartening because people keep telling me that I'm fine, that I'm cured because it's been 10 days, and they're just like, COVID's not even real, and I'm just like, okay.
You know, the horrible thing is, I kind of got like a strain of it back in March, and I'm still so like, everything still aches. I just get so tired all the time, and it's all because of that. Like, it doesn't like go just because you get over it, just because you've quarantined or whatever. Like, I'm lucky that it wasn't really bad, but it doesn't go away. It takes forever to fucking recover from it. And like, that was back in March. Like, we've had our entire lockdown. We're in the second lockdown. Like, my quarantine period ended the week the UK went into the first lockdown. And we're now into a second lockdown. And I'm still feeling the effects of it.
We haven't gone into lockdown again yet, but I'm thinking we most likely will.
We will soon.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, like, people keep telling me that I'm fine because I'm young and healthy, and I'm like, oh, sir, I have acid reflux, I've had a stomach ulcer, and I have all these health issues. You need to shut the fuck up about me being healthy.
Yeah, Cherry, you're young and healthy. Get over it.
Get over it, you piece of shit.
Yeah, that feeling when what was it? Adults like, what are you, 20? Why don't you have your own house yet?
Why aren't you like already a millionaire?
Yeah.
You will once there's a competent president. Yeah. You guys have a new president.
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
Yeah.
He doesn't take charge until January, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I just hope he doesn't fuck up the farming community. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else.
Gotta look after the flock of cows.
Yeah, my cows, my moo-moos.
Your moo-moos?
That's always the biggest fear when there's a new president, because they have their priorities on food, and you never know what day they're gonna be like, yeah, fuck the farmers. Get them the fuck out. We can use that land.
That's why a lot of farmers vote for Republican more, since Republicans focus more on the farming community.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you that Donald Trump is a good president.
Yeah.
And I'm also not gonna sit here and try to tell you that I necessarily like Joe Biden. I'm very indifferent.
Yeah, by the sound of it, it was very much the lesser of two evils.
For real.
At least it wasn't as bad as last time.
Yeah, no, last
That
time.
was even more lesser too. Well,
Yeah.
it's just
Last
too
time
evil.
it was better.
Yeah, because the funny thing is, some people thought Donald Trump was the less of the two evils. I was like, excuse me? but no one could actually decide. I was just like, they can both be equally evil.
Well, that's the thing is, that's the funny thing. People here in America, we wanted someone who wasn't a politician to be a president.
Yeah, I
Because
can get
don't
that.
know why. Oh, yeah,
Well,
but then we got that, and with that we got Trump.
Well,
So
yeah. That's kind of what happened in the UK, though. Like, I've been saying to people, like, I don't think Sean will understand because he's a bit too young. But when I was growing up, Boris Johnson was a clown. And,
Oh,
like,
I remember being the mayor of London and stuff like that.
Yeah, like when he was the mayor of London, he was stupid. But before he was the mayor of London, he used to go on TV shows, and he knew that because he was a bumbling rich person, people laughed at him. So he played up to that. So a lot of people my age were like, how bad can he be? He's a moron. Let's try putting a moron in charge for a change, because it can't be worse than the conniving bitches and dickheads we've had so far.
yeah,
But he was smarter than all the others. And they didn't see that because they just saw the bumbling idiot that used to get flummoxed on Have I Got News For You and stuff like that. But he's smart. He's a very smart man.
and that's one of the interesting thing. While we had Trump, the one advantage we did have was that a lot of the other countries didn't know what to expect with it. With having Trump as a president, so we had that advantage of catching other countries off guard.
I don't know. Most countries kind of just took you as a joke, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said I remember hearing that when Joe Biden won, a lot of countries already say they respect him and like him a lot more than.
Yeah, well, like, the thing is, that I know England, well, the UK in general, because we all are under, unfortunately, the main government, but England especially, because it is our government, compared to, like, Scotland that have their own government as well. Like, we're not initiative with sorting out climate change and stuff like that, but it is something that even the Tories, like, take really seriously when they're not trying to kill all the poor people in the country. But, like, for Trump, because English politicians love to have America on side, because if anything goes wrong, America's so far away from everywhere else with such powerful weaponry that you can't go wrong having them on this side. If you upset America, you're probably going to get bombed. Everyone in Europe knows that. Everyone in the world knows that. And no one's got quite the same amount of firepower to fire back if America fired at us.
Russia
does. England especially.
And Korea.
Russia doesn't really. Russia lies a lot about everything.
Well, Korea does, I know. That's why they're always doing their.
That's why everyone
parade?
leaves Korea alone. Like, we leave Korea alone for a good reason. But Russia just talks a load of hot bullshit. They're just a country full of bullshit.
Welcome to the Political Cast with your host, Awerka89.
Yeah.
This is the political podcast episode.
But, like, it was so difficult for the Tories to, don't forget, we refused Trump into the country so many times. The politicians didn't want him here, the Queen didn't want to meet him, and it was public. It wasn't like this was rumours, this was public. Like, the Prime Minister came out and said they do not want to meet Donald Trump, they do not take him seriously as a president. And then when he, met Angela Merkel, he refused to shake her hand. She's one of the most influential head of states in the world. Yeah. And he refused to shake her hand. And then she just turned around and was like, wow, I don't take you seriously either, you sexist prick.
I know.
Wasn't he banned from Scotland or something?
No, Scotland tried to ban him because he owns a golf course in Scotland.
That's the funny thing. Apparently, when the results came in that Biden won, he was in a what was it, Virginia golf course.
Yeah, I saw that. He's playing bloody golf.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
All the president's golf.
Yeah, the weird thing I did hear about, a funny little fact or so, I think it was, the Queen of England terrorized the Saudi Arabian king or so by driving him around in Saudi Arabia.
What?
Because women can't drive.
Can't drive there. Yeah.
Oh.
But the Queen drove him somewhere.
When was that?
I don't remember this.
When was this? Let me see. I try to find it.
Yeah, Ackbar, when?
Because she hasn't driven for like the last couple years. Queen Saudi Arabia driving. 2019? I thought she stopped driving in 2019.
No.
Queen Elizabeth always
In
seems to display
2016.
impeccable behaviour. Oh, this was in 2003.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
17
yeah, that's-
years ago.
17 years ago.
The,
I wonder why I know that.
the Queen loved driving.
Yeah. Speaking of the Queen, I heard she's stepping down next year, possibly.
No,
No?
no. The Queen's already said she refuses to abdicate.
Oh.
If she abdicated, she has to leave England.
Or at least she said people were saying that she was gonna give it over to Charles.
No, she's not going to abdicate. Charles is just going to take on more roles as royal, which is obviously going to happen. She's 94. She can't exactly continue doing what she does do. So Charles is just going to take on more of her roles, but she's said plenty of times she will never abdicate. So, no, that's not happening.
Okay.
They don't take, don't forget her uncle abdicated? It was her uncle, wasn't it? Yeah, her uncle abdicated. Totally fucked up the royal family.
Dang, I didn't know that.
I don't know much about the British monarchy.
Same.
Wow! Let me tell you what I learned this week about the British monarchy. They were basically related to every other monarch in Europe before World War II, and the monarchies all collapsed. But yeah, her uncle abdicated because he wanted to marry an American divorcee called Wallace Simpson. But because the church and the king or queen is the head of the church in England, and it was against rules to marry someone who was divorced to someone who was still married, and divorced to someone who was still alive even, and yeah,
That's kind of fucked up.
so to be fair, honestly, if he hadn't abdicated, Hitler would have won the war. Because he was a Nazi sympathizer. He even after the war, he would go on about Hitler being a good man. He went to Nazi Germany and spent time with Hitler. He was a Nazi sympathizer. So if he hadn't abdicated, England would have joined the Nazis probably.
Oh, God.
Yep. So.
Dang.
That's one good thing Americans have done in their lifetime. They had a king abdicate to marry one of them. And then we got the much better king, which was Elizabeth's dad, who refused to leave Buckingham Palace during World War II. They rationed during World War II as well. He refused to not ration. And it's why him and Elizabeth are so well thought of, is because obviously they basically went through the same shit as poor people. And one of the nicest quotes I saw, or not nice, but one of the quotes that hit me that when I was reading about him, because I don't really care about the royalty much. I'm not a monarchist. I think after Elizabeth we should get rid of the monarchy. But one of the nice things was they said when people asked, why are you staying at Buckingham Palace after it was bombed? They were like, well, we couldn't look the East End of London, which had been bombed horrifically, in the face if we hid away somewhere safe and they were being killed in the Blitz. And I thought that was like, that's you're never going to get a king like that again, or queen. But yeah, I've been doing history this week.
You've been watching your, what was it, that show?
Horrible Histories, yes.
Yeah.
I got to the last episode that had my favourite cast in it, and they did a big song, and it made me cry.
That is so sad.
Yeah. I'll show it in the after party bit of the podcast. If I can find it on YouTube. But yeah, Ackbar, you haven't told us anything about your week yet.
My week was I just did a lot of schoolwork. Or
That was even more boring than Sean.
Well, yeah.
That's a hard thing to do.
And then I also attended your streams.
You attended, which is more than Sean did, because Sean hasn't been attending my streams recently. Because he's a bad mod.
Fake mod.
All of them. I'm always at your streams.
Yeah.
Getting called out live on the podcast.
He gets called out live in the streams when I'm like, well, Sean's fucked off again.
When I'm either lurking or I'm doing bloody work or something.
Yeah. We all know what you're doing.
I'm not allowed to lurk, apparently.
Sean has to eat and walk doggo. He does do those two things.
Exactly.
Take on.
Excuses. Oh, I can officially tell everyone, by the way, that next week, Pie's Evil, or Tom, is going to be on the podcast.
Ooh, nice.
So, Sean, you're not needed next week.
You're
Okay.
fired.
So, yeah, Tom will be on the podcast next week. And yeah, I'm sure he's he's just as bad as Ackbar. It's gonna be
terrible.
2 Ackbars, 1 Anna.
But wait, you're not gonna join us, Cherry.
Oh, I'm invited.
I mean, if you're not here, then I'm gonna have to have another person on a thing with Tom and Ackbar. So someone will be here.
I'll be here for you, Anna.
Thank you, Cherry. So someone needs to be here to beat them back.
Alright, that's enough, you two.
Are we gonna be doing it the week after? Because it would be 2 days after your what is it? Your streamathon.
Subathon. Ackbar, how are you a mod? You don't know what she's doing.
Week.
I'm not the
Next week's like
smartest mod.
Next week's the 15th.
No, I said the week after next week.
It depends. Like, the thing is, Ackbar, we're saying we're doing a subathon, right?
Yeah.
We said we're doing it. I literally just, not that long ago, turned around and said, we're probably going to have a shorter stream than usual, because I probably only end up getting enough money to do like 6 hours. If we're lucky. So, the podcast, if something miraculous happens and someone comes in and donates like a bajillion gift subs and gives me a load of money and I end up going for like 20 to 40 hours or whatever, then no, the podcast will be delayed and we'll probably just do it the week after. But I honestly think we'll probably end up doing like 6 hours at the most. And even then, I'll probably end up doing the 6 hours on my own back. And we probably won't have had donations for 6 hours, so I think the podcast will be safe.
How much would I have to donate for it to be 6 hours?
Shut up. I haven't sorted out pricing yet, so I can't actually physically tell you. But I will have prices sorted next week, I think. You've been saving money for it. Oh, my wallet is ready. Well, we're basically, as I said before the stream, because obviously this is going up tonight probably onto YouTube. As I said before we started recording, the subathon is mainly like a thank you to, because I don't know what December's going to look like with work. Did I ever order the Elgato, by the way? No, I have not done that yet, because I panicked about my money and stopped spending money like a good person until I know what my money's actually looks like.
Thank you, Anna.
Huh?
Thank you, Anna. You're being a good person.
Okay.
You're being a smart person.
You don't need to thank me for being smart with my money. Like, I'm doing that because I don't want to be poor, and I don't want to go without food at the end of the month like I did last month. Like, I'm trying to be good. But,
We're proud of you.
But yeah, so, like, as well as trying to get to our 5th emote slot, because when we've got 5 emotes, I think we'll get more people that come in just because they've seen them in other streams and stuff like that. When we get to our 5th emote, that's like what the subathon's for, but it's also a thank you to everyone that comes to my streams. So we're going to be playing community games like Jackbox, we'll be doing some Among Us, I'm going to get Uno done, so if Cherry's around we can play Uno. I'm going to do tabletop with the mods to thank the mods for putting up with me. But I've realistically got to think about trying to squeeze all of that into, like, between 4 and 6 hours, because, as I said, I don't think we're going to get that many donations and stuff. So, and even if we did, like, we're not going to have that many people in the stream, so, yeah. Yeah, that is the subathon. But, as I said, I don't think it's going to affect the podcast. If it does, then it's going to be obvious, isn't it? Like, the only people who care about the podcast are going to be in this subathon.
The thing is,
I care deeply about the podcast.
Well, I know, but you're going to be in the subathon, so, like, if it gets to, like, 9 o'clock on the 21st, like, 9 PM on the 21st, and I'm like, I've been streaming now for, like, 20 odd hours, I'm gonna go to sleep and probably never wake up again. You're gonna be here and know that.
True.
People are gonna be there and be like, actually, you know what? I probably don't expect there to be a podcast tomorrow.
Unless you're Ackbar.
Open up your island. I'll order the bit that I need.
Yeah, Banana Uno. You heard it right. We're finally playing Uno on stream, boys. Let's go.
The funny thing is how we talk about our our countries having the worst political people arguing, and then there's Uganda, which has this. They like physically fight each other. There's a video I found of it. It's hilarious.
You sent us that a few weeks ago.
I did.
We were literally
so.
talking about the podcast and the subathon, and then Ackbar just comes out of nowhere with, let's go to politics!
Ackbar, I'm gonna be realistic with you. I could not give 2 shits about politics.
Well, it isn't really. It's funny though.
No, it's political, Ackbar.
It doesn't involve the UK or the
It's still
US.
politics.
It isn't really. It's more like
Ackbar.
fighting.
Are you gonna fight with me right now about whether or not fucking Uganda fighting someone is politics?
They're fighting themselves.
Alright, and that's the end of the podcast for me, ladies and gentlemen.
If you want, here I'll put it.
Ackbar. Ackbar, swear to God.
It's literally just the first segment or so of this video. It's hilarious.
Right, shall we go on to the next part of the podcast? Which is Pog of the Week. Do people have a Pog of the Week? Yes?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Who wants to go
Very
first?
Ackbar.
I mean,
Ackbar needs to go last, just because no matter what we do, he's gonna blow our mind. So Ackbar will always be last. So I could go first again if you don't want to go, or one of you two can.
should go first.
I can go first.
Cherry. I think Cherry needs to go second to last. She needs to still think about this, right?
Is that what's going on?
I'm pretty sure.
Ackbar, shut the fuck up.
Exposing you.
Fucking. What? How dare you treat a guest like this?
You're not a guest anymore. You've just basically
Yeah.
become the third host, to be honest.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Damn it! Now I'm
This is how we treat our guests on
open
the
to
show.
ridicule by Ackbar.
This is we don't hold back here on the podcast.
We don't. We never
This
will.
is like the only thing that could make this better is if this were like a Eric Andre style talk show.
Oh
And
my
I got to
gosh.
be Eric Andre.
I love it.
Guys.
I love
Anyways,
Eric Andre so much.
the Pog of the Week, Anna.
I decided to go for something stupid. Well, not stupid actually. Something that probably won't win, so that other people can have a chance to win this week. And I'm going with managers who actually treat you like human beings.
How's that stupid?
I like that one.
It's not stupid, but people are less likely to probably vote for it than whatever you guys come up with. And this is basically because I had a good day at work today, and that's because I worked with the two managers at work who treat me like a human being. You know, they talk to you like a human being, and they treat you like they actually care. You know?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
like
an
that
actual
one.
human being.
Yeah. It's very rare as well, from what I
It
know.
is. It's
Yeah.
very rare nowadays.
And the terrifying thing is one of them is leaving soon, so we're gonna have
No.
one person.
That is so sad.
I know, it's so sad. I'm miserable because he's leaving. But, yeah. I mean, one of them can get stressy. The one that's staying can get stressy. People do say sometimes he can be a little mini Hitler. He is a bit of a grump. But he genuinely will treat you like a human being. Regardless of who you are as well. Though he did make me laugh. It got to like 5 to 4, which is our closing time, 4 o'clock. And we still had people in the shop doing big shops. And one of the members of staff went, "There's people in here shopping still." And I was thinking to myself, that's because it's a fucking shop, mate. And my man just said it over the headphone. He went, "Yep, that's what they usually do when they're in a shop." No, take Anna with you, nice man. The horrible thing is, I would go there because the other manager that I love, and this is like, she left years ago, but I really like her as a person. She went there. But unfortunately, like, because they do actually have shifts over there.
Yeah.
Cost like £11, which is an hour's lot of work just to get there in the morning, and then it'll be like up to £5 to get 2 buses back home, and the travel by bus will be like nearly an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Maybe when you get a vehicle, you can work over there.
Oh yeah, when I get a car, then I'll go to any fucking shop they want to take me to. But the one reason I'm stuck in this store, even though there's like 20 stores, there's not 20, but there's like a lot of stores of our store in Plymouth, is because I save money. Like, you see how poor I am by like day 2 of the month. Now, I don't pay for transport. Imagine if I went to another store and had to pay for transport.
True.
It's
Yeah.
not cheap in Plymouth at all. So I'm kind of stuck here until I can drive, and that's going to cost money, so... But yeah, managers that treat you like a human. That is my Pog of the Week nomination. Sean?
Mine is you, Anna. Because,
Oh,
you know, you've always been there, and I've been here since the beginning and stuff. Like, treated me like a little brother and stuff like that. And, yeah. It's always nice to be at your streams and stuff.
He took
Making
my
everyone
tactic
happy,
of Jeff.
made a good community as well. Always amazing people. So yeah, mine's yours, Anna. You, Anna.
Cherry, you're supposed to choose a random one this week. It's your turn, remember?
well, I know I have mine, but I nominate my cat, Dagon. who is sitting right next to me and has been crawling all over my laptop since we've started, since I've gotten home, because he missed me so much because I was gone for a night. Every time I come home, he greets me at the door. He's literally acts like a dog. And though he bites me and scratches me, I love that little shit.
Okay, so I want to point out, right, that I messaged everyone in the podcast channel that only people who are going to be part of the podcast can see. And I asked, remember to do the podcast, Pog of the Week. I got a yes and a yes from Ackbar and Sean. And this is what I got from Cherry. I'm going to play it up on stream. So the fact that she just nominated something that sat right next to her, it will come as a surprise when you see this.
And
He always sits next to me when we do the podcast.
Does this surprise you that she just nominated her cat?
Anna's calling me out.
I am calling you out.
Listen, Anna,
you deserve it.
And the thing is, last week, I gave them a pass because they obviously just didn't read anything. And by the way, Ackbar continues not to read anything because he asked me what time is the podcast going to be when it's right fucking here. But yeah,
well, I was looking at the other podcast one, I think it was.
Podcast shitpost?
I have a feeling, a horrible feeling, that every week from now on, Cherry is just going to nominate something she can see when she's sat there doing the podcast.
It's going to be a guinea pig next week.
No, fuck my guinea pigs. They're not Pog. They make too much noise.
Also, hello, honey. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, honey.
I'm getting roasted and toasted, honey. Help me.
You're getting roasted and toasted, and Toasty isn't even here.
Ackbar, do we even want to know what your Pog of the Week is?
It's President-elect Joe Biden.
Oh, he's gone for something sensible.
Because one, he elected the first female multiracial child of an immigrant vice president. So he pretty much made history.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
yes,
it? Is that
fictional son. Yes. Fictional. Yes.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Sorry, so people talk because I'm trying to do the poll, so people talk to cover up the silence.
Yes, because
Never.
I like Joe Biden as just like Joe Biden, I messed up my speaking.
Listen, it do be like that sometimes.
They say it don't be like that, but it do.
It sometimes
It make do.
it
Mick does. No.
be like it do.
Right,
But
the
it
poll is up, by the
does.
way. The poll is up.
You gotta pull up to the McDonald's and be like, "Can I have a McGangbang?" That is what someone literally did.
How did you find this
like-
information?
That's because he did it. He just doesn't want to admit it.
No, if I pulled
I
up, I
nominate
would.
my floor because it always catches me when I fall down. That's funny. I like that.
Looking down because you gave me up.
What was it? My friend used to work at McDonald's, and he said it like in the middle of the night when he went there. He would legit, when people pulled up, he would just go, "Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?"
Oh, I love Good Burger. That's such a good movie.
I would
I
legit.
just recently watched them.
Really? I loved it growing up.
I would do that as if I worked there. I would legit do that, and then when they leave, say, "Big McThankies from McSpankies."
Who is fucking voting on this? There's 11 fucking votes.
I don't know.
Anna,
I guess there
Pepe,
is-
you be nice to yourself, Anna. I swear to God, don't make me come over there.
Come over here.
I also love how everything Ackbar seems to say leaves us all speechless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he says
I just have
something
that
weird
power.
or good. We just end up like, oh. Yeah, be nice to my favourite streamer, Anna. Wow, I'll tell you what, a work 89 is a fucking cunt.
How dare you talk about my wife like that, you son of
I
a bitch.
agree.
I'll kick your ass.
I agree.
Thank you for agreeing with
Anna.
me, Ackbar.
Because cunt actually means friend.
Well, in what world?
I'm pretty sure in Australia.
No.
What? No!
That's-
no!
you can use
Ackbar!
It means exactly the same everywhere.
Don't
It
make
does in
me get
Australia.
herbals here, Ackbar. Herbals would never say cunt, ever. He is... Every time I say it, he's like...
my chat has just turned red with everyone mentioning me. I wish Anna would be a little nicer to a worker 89. Wait, which worker is a cunt? Wow, I did say a worker 89, Jeff. I'll tell you what, a worker 89 gave me a sub to Inde, the second best gift in the world. He's live at the minute. I kind of want to abandon you all and let Ackbar take over and just watch Inde.
Well, why don't I get to take over if I'm the third co-host?
That is true, I should just leave you. And then Pi agreed with me.
Don't mind me, I'm doing my college English 5 hours before it's due.
Also, right, it's funny that you bring that up, Punky, because the other Jeff was going on, they were going on about PewDiePie. Now, I don't know what he did, but apparently he, like, said the N-word.
Oh
Right?
yeah, that was a long
Oh,
time
yeah,
ago.
Yeah,
Oh, why a while back.
no, but it wasn't so much that, because I don't know who the guy is, so I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't care what he does. But Jeff turned
Right.
around and said, but in Europe, they do things differently. And I was like, excuse me, that's still a racial slur in Europe. And you're sitting there going, yeah, no, they say cunt all the time over there. I was like, cunt isn't a racial slur, Jeff. I didn't want to get into it in his chat, so I just let it slide. But I was like, what does he think that we just drop the N-word left, right, and centre in Europe or something? It's a fucking slur. We
As
say it
someone who-
less.
There is a context where it is not a slur, but it's not spelled the same way, though.
Well, no, because it means black in certain languages.
Well, I mean, if you say it without an ER and you say it as an A, it means friend or buddy.
Okay,
Yeah, but
Let me-
white people
Maybe
don't
that's more
use
said
that.
among black people.
Yeah, white people can't
Yeah,
say that.
you don't say that as a white person. Like,
Yeah.
no white person says that and gets away with it.
in Europe, the difference between like the Romance languages, like Italian and Spanish, negro in Spanish is just the color black, but that word in Italian is actually the N word for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
you have to be like very
anyone that
careful.
knows English language knows you don't use the N-word.
And
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying don't use... By the way, we've had a draw with Cherry's cat and me.
There you go, Dagon.
and
Are
that's
you
what's
happy?
And that's what's interesting too. Like in the UK, you have the word knickers, which sounds a lot like it, but there it means someone's panties.
Patties.
You didn't just...
Doesn't sound that much like it.
Knickers is... Oh my god, Ackbar, what the hell are you going on about?
I'm just saying how similar it is.
It's still two different words. You
I
just
know.
don't say the N-word. Like, you literally don't say the N-word.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
I just feel like we're getting lost in translation here. No one says the N word in Europe, except racist people.
Yeah. My point
Yeah.
was that, that when people brought up that he said it, Jeff was like, yeah, but in Europe, words mean different things. And he brought up... That's why Punky was talking about the word cunt, was because Jeff brought that up. And I was like, but it's still a swear word. Like, a child would get in trouble for saying cunt. I can say it to my heart's content because I'm English and I want to. English because I'm an adult and I want to, not because I'm English, you know? But it's still a swear word. It's like fuck or anything else like that. It's a word that you shouldn't be saying, but people use it sometimes. But we say it more often in the UK because we just don't care as much as America about that swear word. But we also have a lot of, like, weird swear things and, like, weird words that Americans find fascinating. Like, people always, like, Americans always find it weird when I call someone a wank stain. But, like, that's one of my favourite insults. And, like, it's a, like, proper insult in the UK. Like, you can say it, like, me and Sean call each other cunts all the time. Because it's just, like, anything. You just use it as a,
Paige.
you know, hey, Paige.
We're just talking about the word cunt.
Yeah, but it was just the way he was like, in Europe, they speak differently. And I was like, no one in Europe uses the N-word, Jeff. No one in Europe. And I was like, I don't know enough about the guy to have had, like, an opinion on him in general. But it just really... And this might also be one of the reasons why I'm like, fuck Jeff streams at the minute. Because I was like, it was such a random thing for him to say. And I was like, wow. And it's like the word fag and faggot in America is like a really bad slur. In Europe, it isn't. Like, a fag's a cigarette, and a faggots is a fucking meal.
Meat, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
that's like
meatballs.
Especially
See,
like,
and that
like in China, the N-word means something else or so. In Chinese, I know.
Probably, but Jeff said Europe, and I'm telling you now,
Yeah.
it is a racist slur in Europe.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like you said, it wasn't as common over there. Over here, it's a bit more common that people say it.
No,
But that's-
it's quite common over here for racist. The thing is, well, as I said, I think I either said it here or I said it in Discord earlier. I think it was Discord. England is a racist country, just like America. We're not on the same level to some points as America, but we are. But currently, we're much more racist towards Muslims than, like, black people, as it were. Because, like, we have a very big anti-terrorist thing and
Oh yeah, we had a
stuff
whole
like that.
period.
So,
We
like,
had a whole period like that after 9/11.
yeah, so you're more likely to see people being very racist towards Muslims and using very heated language towards Muslims than you are to,
like,
people of color, you know?
like Boris calling them mailboxes or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, over here we had a whole thing like that. No one, literally everyone was scared of them after 9/11 or so.
Yeah, but we had the Manchester bombings not that long ago. It is a couple years back now, but because it was targeted at kids. It won't. It's like, you guys won't have heard of it, and I can't remember what the name of it is. But there was a football game, and a bunch of people got killed at a football game years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I saw that on the news or so. They were saying it happened at one of the. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I thought it was at a stadium.
You would have been a little kid, or you might not have even been alive when this happened, Ackbar.
What year was it?
Sean, do you know what this is?
What? The football game? What year?
No. Remember, there's that big thing that... This is the reason why people don't read The Sun in the North. What was it?
What, the Manchester bombings?
No, the football one from back in, like, the 90s or early noughties.
I'm not entirely sure, honestly.
Wait a minute.
There was a movie about it,
What am I looking for?
apparently.
Hillsborough.
Oh,
The Hillsborough disaster, which happened in 1989. It happened the year I was born. But that is still, like, a huge thing over here, because it touched people. I mean, they're also doing an inquiry into it now.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, the Hillsborough incident. It's such a big thing, and the Manchester bombing is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Like, you should see how much people from the areas affected hate anyone that writes for the Sun and things like that because of what the Sun said about them. You know, people like they just hate anyone that they think would have anything to do with the Manchester bombing, especially because it was kids. Like, it was aimed at teenagers and kids.
Yeah, that's
Is that like Ariana Grande or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, the thing is, the one thing I do notice, I don't know if this is accurate since I don't get a lot of news, but do you guys have a lot less mass shootings over there than we do here?
Yeah, we barely have. I don't think we have mass shootings at all. I think there was the one that Andy Murray was related to, was involved in. Not involved in, but was like one of the students in the school, like up in Scotland somewhere.
Oh yeah, school shootings. That was sadly enough, that was a trend here in America for a few years.
And you have to realize, Ackbar, America is a lot bigger than England, so of course we're gonna have more mass shootings than England.
Well, not just that. We have gun control.
We don't have every man and his dog having a gun or anything.
I remember seeing a report about some other country somewhere that have like AR guns, but they'd have like 0 mass shootings.
Yeah, there's countries in Europe that allow guns. I think Iceland. Yeah, Iceland, that's it, Iceland. Yeah. But a lot of those countries also enlist people from their teenage years and put some cadets and stuff and train them to use guns and train them to be responsible adults and look after the people in their country and don't leave them with bad mental health and access to weapons that could kill people.
Yeah.
Like, we get a lot of stabbings. Like, we had that Fusilier not that long ago that got stabbed in the street. We had the person on London Bridge last year who stabbed a bunch of people.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. I was thinking you guys had it was either you guys or in Italy or somewhere that had the whole truck. The person who drove a bunch of people over with the truck.
Oh, that happened here, yeah. Yeah, they found like
I think it was
40
after
to
the
50 people dead in a truck.
And then there was that thing that happened in New Zealand where there was a time in Germany where a kid made a makeshift flamethrower and came to school to try to burn it down with everyone inside.
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people here, like, as a science fair, people have students have like used guns or made bombs as a science fair project.
Jesus.
Well, as I said the other week, the first time I ever saw a gun was last year, and that's because we've now got armed police in our mall.
So didn't the police, they used to have clubs or something.
Yeah.
This is not me trying to push my own views on people, but this is just me talking about how crazy people are. Like, no matter like what they are given, they will just be crazy. And if you take it away from them, they'll just find another way to be crazy. Like, if they stab someone and you take the knife away, they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna get some spray on deodorant and a lighter. Fuck you.
Well, yeah, because like in our country, recently it's been people driving into large crowds. There's been stabbings. God. Like, they did a whole thing of trying to get knives off the street in London, and I think they managed to like confiscate thousands of knives from people. Just walking around the streets in London. We have a big gang problem, but mainly if you hear about shooting, it's very, very rare for anyone that isn't a police officer to be shooting someone. If you hear about a shooting, it's a police officer usually that shot someone.
Over here, it's pretty much anyone.
Yeah, where we're at, we get that in the news.
And that's the thing. Part of it is also the amount of black market and smuggling that we have, or the amount of times people will buy someone for someone who is underage or not allowed to buy a gun.
Mm-hmm. And then you get those parents who don't teach their children how to use them.
Or
And then
the
you get
ones
those
that-
parents who don't treat their children correctly, and then...
Or the ones that start teaching them how to use one at like 10 or something.
Okay, well, okay. As a redneck, I have a shot at age 8. I'm not going to school. It's like, I can shoot people. No, I can't even shoot a gun very well. I have bad eyesight. But let's lay off teaching kids how to shoot guns at an early age. I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like bad enough when you see like a 5-year-old with their own cell phone. I mean, I never got an actual. Well, I got like a brick phone when I was a freshman in high school.
You know what? I made the mistake the other day. As I keep saying, my niece is 11, and she got into a lot of trouble the other day because she like, my sister had her girlfriend and her kid around for a week, and it was just too much time to be together when they barely knew each other. So my niece kicked off, and when she kicks off, she fucking kicks off. And she had her phone confiscated, and she was going on about her phone the other day. I turned around and said, "You're lucky you've got a phone. Not everyone can have a phone at your age." She turned around and was like, "Everyone has phones in my school." And I was like, shit, yeah, they probably do now. When I was a kid, you were very, very rich if you had a fucking mobile phone. But nowadays, everyone's got a fucking phone.
Yeah, same for me when I was early age, like elementary school. The best thing we did was just play with our erasers and pencils to keep
Same.
ourselves busy, or put a bunch of like extra glue in the desk or something.
Put glue on your hand to peel it off.
Yeah, that.
Oh my
Or we
god, that's awesome.
Or we did that in the desk. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't get, like, my sister for the last couple of years has been determined to buy my niece a laptop, and I'm just like, she doesn't need that much access to the internet. She's only 11. But then, like, not even before schools got shut down and they needed Zoom and stuff, they were putting a lot of work online anyway. Like, they'd have websites and you'd win team points for going online and doing homework and stuff. And my niece is a nerd, so she wanted to do that. But I was like, they shouldn't be putting them in front of the computer that much. A parent shouldn't have to buy an 11-year-old a laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, when I was a senior in high school, we got laptops. Every student got them in our school system or so individually. They gave each other Chromebooks. But the thing is, I worked upstairs at the school library for one school hour or so every day, and what the librarian was telling me was that since they had Chromebooks, they were planning on taking away the actual computers that were in the library, which were the only ones that could be connected to the printer.
Oh.
And so pretty much you couldn't print out anything, and you have like students who are doing projects that needs to print out images, or teachers that need to print stuff out, and you can't do any of that.
Well, I was talking to someone, I think it was Tom, about, because obviously everyone, when they hear about my work and stuff, the instant thing is, well, find another job. And they mean it in the best way, but it's really difficult at the minute because of the way my arm is. No other grocery store is going to take me because I can't do tills, and, like, they won't want to. And I'll be losing £2 an hour going anywhere that doesn't give me the national living wage because I'm on the national living wage. So, like, the only other thing is moving into office work, but especially now, they really, really want people with IT qualifications. Whatever they are. Like, it's not like they want you to go to university or something. They just want something that says, this is telling you that they know how to use a computer. Like, I can use a computer, I can use everything they want, but I have no proof that I can do that. So they're going to hire someone that has a bit of paper saying they can do it over someone that says, yeah, I can do that. And the thing is, when I was at school, like, one, IT was a double qualification. So if I wanted to do IT, I wouldn't have been able to do history. And the only subject I wanted to do for GCSE was history. So I couldn't do it anyway, because at that time I wanted to be a history teacher. So I was like, it's not important. My dream is to do history, so I'm going to go and do history. But also, my year group was the first year group to have a laptop group in our year. So, like, there was a bunch of kids who in year 8, which is the second year of secondary school, so when we were, like, 12, who got a bunch of laptops, and they were kept apart from the rest of the school, and, like, they had a lot of work on the laptops. And they were the ones that they were basically trying to get to the point where when you got to your GCSEs, they'd be the ones that would be doing the IT courses. And it made it very intimidating for anyone else who wanted to do it and didn't have a laptop, and especially poor kids who might share a computer with their parents and their siblings like I did, maybe didn't have the best laptops or computers in the world because they were poor or whatever. It made it very intimidating for them to then join, especially because they'd be doing this 2-year course with people that didn't have to be in an IT room because they had their laptops and they had their own classroom. So, like, no one really took it. And now, as soon as you left secondary school, as soon as you leave it, you have to pay for these courses, and they can be expensive. So, like, our school, when I was at school, was when computers become the thing. You know, when I was in secondary school, it was when IT was becoming a big thing. We didn't have computers in primary school at all. They came way after I left. And we only really had particularly decent ones in my secondary school, like halfway through my time there. So, like, now, like, I just have no qualifications for the computers. But they kind of, like, made it completely impossible when they introduced the laptop group. And no one in my year group or below me for, like, the next 2 or 3 years had any interest in doing anything computer-based, because you just made that to feel second class to the laptop group. And they were all posh kids because you had to pay for them.
Did you not have, like, an IT lesson when you first got to school, then?
We had IT lessons, yeah. But they were, like, joint IT lessons, so... or not joint, but they were part of humanities. So, like, you do half a term on IT and half a term on religion and half a term on other countries and their beliefs and stuff, and then rotate around. But, like, IT wasn't a big thing. Especially because my school was a music school. So, we did music technology instead. So, a lot of our computer work, like, when we first got there, they obviously taught us the basics of using a computer and stuff. But after that, if you had IT, it was mainly musical technology, music tech. So you were being taught how to put music onto a computer and how to edit music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really fucking helpful. You know, I've done that so much in my life. It was so worth doing every year for however many years I was at school.
You used to play guitar, didn't you?
I did used to play guitar. I had to do music editing for my GCSE. And then I dropped music the year after because the music teachers were assholes. Yeah,
I wasn't really into music at that point. Yeah. I dropped that as soon as I could.
I just wanted to do history. I just want to learn about history. Now, I've realised now, when it's way too late, because I cannot, for the life of me, afford to go back to school at all. I really would have loved to be an archaeologist or something like that. That would have suited me so well. But again, back when I was in school, unless you were posh, no one would sit there and say, this is a job you could look at. They mainly were getting you ready to go and work in the poor students in, to work in shops. Like literally, that is what they thought I was going to be. They thought I was going to work in retail my whole life, and I proved them right. But they wouldn't tell me, personally, that I could be an archaeologist because I was good at geography and I was good at history. They turned around and was like, it doesn't really matter what you do for your GCSEs because you're going to probably work in a shop.
That's kind of the same here, so the way they teach you. The more middle class and poor kids who go to public schools are focused more on following directions and showing up on time and wearing a specific dress code, while people who are a lot richer and have more money and go to private schools are taught to be more creative and to fix problems between two different people or so, to work as CEOs.
See, the one thing I hate from when I was born is that, or like the generation I'm in, like just generally when I went to school, is our year group, again in my school, like this might have been more widely done in other schools, my year group was the first year group to have NVQs, which is, like, you go out and you do something. So, like, a lot of people...
Like job shadowing?
Yeah, so, like, a lot of people that wanted to do engineering went to work at Princess Yachts and stuff like that, which is the big boat building company in Plymouth. And once a week they'd go out there, they'd learn skills, and then instead of doing GCSEs, they'd still have to do the basics, English, maths, and science, and a language, but they would go out for the rest of or go into their own thing to just focus on, they wanted to be an engineer, so this is how to be an engineer. If you wanted to be a mechanic, this is how to be a mechanic. And one of my friends did animal care because he wanted to be a veterinarian. You know, it was the first time our school did it when I went into my GCSEs. Like, they did kind of do it, but it was like, it was a proper option for the first time in my year group. And, because, like, you'd spent your whole school life being taught you're gonna go and you're gonna do GCSEs, then you're gonna do your A-levels, then you're gonna go to uni. Everyone in my year group was like, but I don't get what an NVQ is, and I don't really want to do it because I'm meant to be going to uni to get a good job, so why would I do this? You know? So the people that did do that were lucky because they ended up with actual skills for jobs. Like, my sister originally went to be a hairdresser, and she's fully qualified to be a hairdresser. And then after that, because she was still young enough, and she still had a kid, or she just had a kid, she was able to do, nursery work. Again, an NVQ in nursery work. And she's now a qualified, and she went back to do that after she went to uni, but she's now a qualified nurse. Well, nursery nurse, not nurse, but nursery nurse. You know, but when I was, like, faced with the options of what do you want to do going forward, I was kind of like, I thought I had to do something academic. And I didn't fail. Like, I didn't fail my GCSEs, I didn't fail my A-levels. I just wasn't really very good at being in classroom situations. And my teachers weren't particularly nice, and my school wasn't very nice. So, I ended up where I am now.
Punky was wondering what a GSE is.
I don't know what a GSE is. GCSE is our exam that you do when you're 16.
Is it kind of like the ACT?
Probably.
For the, well, that's for us. The ACT and SATs are pretty much, you take them to see what college kind of like, or where your skills are at in what area.
You mostly take them to get scholarships. To get paid.
You don't really have the same thing in America because your college is even different in America than our universities, so there's not really anything we can compare it to. You just take them when you're 16. Everyone has to take English language, English literature, maths, all three sciences, so biology, chemistry, and physics. And usually you have to take a language as well, which depends on what part of the country you're in. It could be anything And then you either do an NVQ, which takes up the next bit, or you do like IT, something creative, history. They did politics back then as well. I don't know if they still do it, but you can choose from a... Huh?
They did law. Well, I'm having a different thing.
But yeah, no, you get like... You then just get exams on that. And because like in English universities, you only ever focus on one thing. You don't take like a lot of lessons. You go to uni to do this one thing. And you spend the whole time at uni doing that one thing. So the GCSEs is like a more spread out thing. Like you do a load of stuff and you do the stuff you need to do. And then your A-levels, you focus on what you need to go forward to do that one thing you want to do at uni.
Interesting.
My uni course is bloody everything. I do like maths and fluid mechanics and...
Yeah, but that's because maths and stuff are inside it. But like in America, they'll take different classes at college, like loads of different classes. Like Chris was asking the other day what she wanted was, or what we think she should take for college next term, and it was like completely different topics than what she was doing this term.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I do the same thing all through the year, and I did that. Obviously, we do that for college and school and stuff as well. I think in college I did a BTEC on civil engineering or engineering based as well anyway, which I did for 2 years, which basically got me into uni.
Yeah, I did my A-levels twice. So the first time I did what did I do the first time? I did history, I did French, I did chemistry, and I did business French. And then...
Business French?
Yeah. And then the second time around, because I basically, my dad, something happened with my dad, and I ended up missing my... Well, I didn't miss all, but I did take my exams in the end, and I got quite good grades. But I didn't want to go back to school after that. And like I had to talk to my history teacher about what I was gonna focus on for year... What year was it? Year 13? And I was like... He wasn't very helpful. Like, he didn't want to talk to me for a start. You know, he didn't know who I was really, because he was going to be my teacher that year, but he hadn't taught me before. And he wasn't very helpful. And I was like, that was the only subject I wanted to continue doing, so I just left. And the second time...
You stayed at school, did you?
Huh?
Sixth form, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only did year 12. And then I went back to do year 12 again. This time at City College instead of my sixth form. And I did classical history, or classical civilizations, and English literature. And I got good grades in that as well. But my English... I had... one of my English teachers taught me English and classical civilizations. And then I had a man teach me classical civilizations as well. And then another man teach me the other side of the English literature. And the other English literature professor was a doctor. He liked to remind us he was a doctor of English literature. He was an absolute fucking jackass. And he threatened to kick me off the course. So in the end... Huh?
It could be like that.
Sounds like a right cunt.
Yeah, so like, I made it my life's mission to pass his exams, which I fucking did. Because like, as I said to him, like, he was teaching poetry, right? And he was going on and on and on about this poet, Philip Larkin. He's a fucking miserable cunt. That's all you can fucking say about him. He's a fucking miserable cunt. And he went on and on and on about him, and I was like, to be fair, his poems are just depressing. Like, there's nothing... It's just depressing. And he was going on, you're going to fail because you don't understand because you never come to my class, which I didn't. I will fully admit, like, I would have classical civilization 1 hour, and the next hour would be his lesson, and half the people in my classical civ class was in his class too, because they did the same thing, and I would disappear from one class to the other one. So people would be like, well, she was just in the other class, so I don't know where she's gone. I fucking passed his part, and then failed Shakespeare by accident.
Oops.
And I was good at Shakespeare. I was getting A stars all year, and then I got to the exam, and I was so, like, tired from making sure I got good marks in his side, I failed the exam. Because I misquoted whatever the fuck we were doing. I think it was much to do about nothing. No, that's not Shakespeare, is it? It might be Shakespeare. Whatever the fuck it was, I failed it. I did pass Oscar Wilde, though, because I'm smart. And I passed my classic civ. So.
Nice. I did pretty average at school. C's and B's mostly.
Yeah, same.
I've never tried very hard at school. And I've gotten all A's.
Well, I didn't revise or anything.
Flex on us.
Yeah.
I panic in exams. That's my big thing. Is I panic like hell in exams.
Same.
I'm terrible in tests. If it makes me feel any better, the second I took a class that I had to try and I got depressed and started failing. It do be like that sometimes.
I'm sorry we're not reading the comments very much today for some reason. We're just rambling to each other about random things.
I'm sorry, I'm doing the class that I'm failing right now so I don't fail anymore. I got the COVID and I'm failing now.
I would have loved to do philosophy and ethics and things like that. Like I honestly, as much as like the American education system terrifies me anytime anyone talks to me about it, because sometimes when like they talk to me about stuff, I'm like, that's not actually true. I don't know where you've got that from, but that's not true. You know, it's terrifying, especially history. But I would have loved to do like philosophy and ethics, and it's more common to do that in America than in England. But yeah, like I'm really, really into philosophy and ethics, and that would have been ideal for me. But I got stuck doing the shit that I do.
Yeah. In the UK, do you have like how many? Do you have one main school system or?
Yeah.
Or, so you have just one school connected throughout the whole UK, or?
Yeah, but we all teach different things.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Why?
We have GCSEs, and schools will pick what part they want to teach.
Oh, since ours is extremely more complicated, we have
everything in America is more complicated. But explain it to us, Ackbar, because me and Sean have no idea.
We have private colleges, public colleges, and then a different type of public colleges.
Community college?
Yeah, community colleges.
Wait.
And
are colleges like our universities, or are they like our secondary schools?
Kind of.
Universities, they're like universities.
Right, because that's the thing. We have universities, and that's it. But we have private secondary schools, and we have community secondary schools. And we also have academies that kind of breach primary schools and secondary schools, but mainly the primary schools.
Oh, we have private.
We have middle schools as well.
We have private for all
middle schools in some places.
Yeah, there's fucking bougie ass preschools here.
There is. There's like you can go private schools, private everything.
We said like nursery.
Yeah.
I won't be a nursery before primary school.
Yeah, we go nursery, primary. Like we do nursery when we're like 4/5. Then 5 to about 10, 11, you're in primary school. Then 11 to 16, you're in secondary school. Then you can do A levels, which are like you either do it in sixth form, which is staying at your secondary school but doing like just coming in casually, or you do it at a city college, and then you go on to do university at 18.
If you want to, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even fucking.
I applied for like apprenticeships first. Well, when I left school, but I never got anywhere with that. So I just went to college, and obviously now I'm in uni.
Yeah, and then like the private colleges we have are extremely expensive.
Oh yeah. But you like those colleges give out a lot of scholarships for people who are less fortunate, so sometimes they're even cheaper to go to than like a college you can get a bachelor's degree at.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying Notre Dame has their tuition is $55,555 just for tuition.
Christ.
A private.
Well, for 1 year.
That's well, that's
Yeah.
just for tuition, yeah.
That's just to like. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
terrible.
yeah,
There's
and that's a
the-
Catholic school, so
My niece
Yeah.
goes to a Notre Dame. It's an all-girls school.
What did you say?
Said my niece goes to a Notre Dame. It's an all-girls school over here.
over here it's just one huge college that's basically it has its own zip code, so it's basically a mini city for the college students.
Some unis like that, like they're like kind of like a little village or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh no, I never went. And if I had, I would have gone to Plymouth probably.
That's the thing. I go to a community college since it's a lot more affordable, and that's the only thing is you don't get a lot of, as they say here in America, the quote unquote college experience.
Oh, getting drunk and failing.
Which, well, no, the more or less the experience of living on your own.
Oh.
That too,
From a
or so.
nihilistic college.
Well, yeah, that too. So, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I
the
tried that and it wasn't for me, to be honest. I did, like, I lived in for uni the first 2 years. And like, even like going out, I couldn't be asked doing after a while anyway. Then I failed my second year, so I come and lived with my dad after my second year. And whatever now. And obviously I'm pretty glad I've stayed in now, because obviously lockdown and all that stuff. Like I know people who have paid to actually live in, and like if in a lockdown, that's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
thing-
never had any of that experience, so.
That's the community college I go to. That's the thing. It's you try to make friends, but the thing is, like 90% of the people there are adults who have kids that are like, well, the adults are like 40 or something, or a lot older than you.
Yeah, I know it's not something I should take my knowledge of America on, but in Kimmy Schmidt, she ends up going to, well, she starts off going to a community college because she couldn't afford to go anywhere else. And it was just like basically adults in it.
Yeah, that is, since they go there
Yeah.
if they either started something before, I don't know, do they just go there to do quick courses or 4 to 8 week classes? That's probably the main reason why my school was shut down. It's still going to be shut down to the end of COVID, since we have so many adults coming in every few weeks for such a short amount of time.
See, like, that's what always confused me, though, is because, at Buckland, the school I went to, my secondary school, was a community college. So every time I heard people going on about community colleges in America, I was like, they're too old to be going to a community college. You're meant to be a kid going to a community college. We're not a
Yeah.
community college anymore, though. I think we're even an academy or an institute now. I can't remember what it is. But
The
they
more
got
public-
in trouble, so they got whatever it was that happens to schools that get in trouble.
The more public schools have a lot more more like early 20s kids in them or so who actually live on campus.
Because you guys don't wear a uniform, really, do you?
No.
Depends.
Well, yeah, it depends on the school. I know where is it?
Private, maybe.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
But not public.
Yeah. Well, yeah. For me, elementary through high school, I was forced to wear dress code.
What kind of dress code?
Oh, well, mostly it was, what was it, like a button-up shirt or a two-button shirt with long pants. Well, it depended. It changed. That's the thing.
You want to see what we had to wear?
Yeah, we have blazers.
Yeah, look at this. Look at it. I've got my school picture here. Look at that. That's what we had to wear.
Oh, dang.
You had to learn how to do a tie-up.
Oh, we didn't have ties, actually. Thankful.
It was not. It was like, I don't know. That's the thing. Our school system changed the rules so much, it never just stuck. And then we had, each school had its own choice of if they wanted dress code or not.
I was from 2000.
2000.
I was born that year.
I was in secondary school.
Was one.
Jesus. I was so uncomfortable. Like, I was one of the tallest, so they put me in the chairs at the front. Like, you can't really see it. And I was so... Because I was, like, taller than nearly everyone in my year group. You can see me slouched in my chair, because I was like, fuck my life, am I so fucking tall? I had longer hair a couple years back than that. That's not long at all. That's shoulder length. I had it going down to my ass a couple years back. But yeah, we had to wear proper uniforms. They still did. My niece is wearing a proper uniform to Notre Dame.
Yeah, like those.
Yeah, I think a lot of like most schools they have uniforms. We had uniform in primary school as well.
Yeah,
I had primary school uniform.
Those uniforms are more for like private Catholic or religious schools, or like what was it, Yale or Harvard.
Yeah, but like in college and university, you just wear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's really nice.
I didn't mind uniforms though. The only thing was like when you couldn't really afford uniforms, it got a bit upsetting because you'd be wearing like stuff that was too small for you and stuff. But I didn't mind it. I preferred it. I used to get picked on a lot during mufti days when you were allowed to wear your own clothes for like the day. I got the nickname The Undertaker because I once wore an Undertaker t-shirt to school and people thought it made me weird, so like they called me it as an insult for the entire time I was at school. And I've never been into clothes. Like I just wear t-shirts and jeans, and because I was a girl, because I wasn't wearing girly clothes, people picked on me for that. Because I was poorer, they pick on me because my clothes weren't ironed. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was happy to just look like everyone else wearing a fucking uniform most of the year. Because, you can't judge someone if you're wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. That's what they tried to say here, but...
True fiction.
Not true. It's the thing here. Also here we had it was more about shoes since everyone was wearing dress code.
Yeah, no, we got in like in my school, like this is in every school. This was our deputy head teacher. He if you didn't have your top button done up, if you didn't have your tie done up properly, if you didn't have your shirt tucked in, he'd make you pick up litter on your break. And he'd do random spot checks in class as well. Make you stand up and show that you were... And, like, girls weren't allowed to wear makeup. You were only allowed one pair of earrings in. You weren't allowed to wear jewellery. The same with the boys. The boys were the same. The boys weren't allowed piercings at all for the longest time when I was at school.
Christ.
And then because we were at that time when wearing trousers was like just coming in for girls. So like we were allowed to wear trousers and stuff. But like then it was the whole skirt thing, and girls would want to come in with skirts that basically showed off their underwear, and they were like, no, you can't do that.
Well,
And so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah, they weren't as strict. Well, they weren't that strict like with us or anything.
Well, no, because I went to secondary school the year after you were born, Sean. It was a long fucking time before you went to secondary school.
So you can still get cunts like that bloody want you to do shit like whatever though, can't you?
Yeah.
Any time.
I'm 31. It was mandatory for girls to wear skirts in the UK.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could wear shorts either. Weirdly, like you weren't allowed to wear shorts, so everyone had to wear trousers all the time.
We were allowed to wear. No, the boys were allowed to wear shorts in like the really hot weather. Girls had to wear a skirt.
I remember one year, we couldn't wear shorts at all.
You know.
Yeah, no, like by the time I left, I thought dress code was fine. Like for boys and girls, I didn't like that girls couldn't wear shorts, but then I wouldn't have worn shorts if I had the option to. I didn't wear a skirt either. I don't know many girls that would have worn shorts if they were given the option to, so it didn't really bother us that much. But I know, like, I was part of the school support team, which was like kind of the school council, I guess, like student council, because we didn't have that in our school, and we were made to debate about it and stuff, and I was like, I don't see the point in not having a uniform, to be honest. The only thing I ever had against it was I didn't like the fact we had to wear maroon. Like, of all the fucking colours in the world, why make a kid walk around all day wearing maroon? And I didn't like that they made you wear your blazer all the time. They'd get shitty about your fucking blazer. And like, when it's hot, a blazer is way too fucking hot to be wearing. And I thought that they could relax on the top button and the... my whole thing was wear a uniform and look smart, but don't be like... Some people look smart when they've got their shirt untucked. And a top button being undone is not the end of the fucking world. But, other than that, I was like, yeah, wear a uniform.
Yeah, I was with Navy, I think. Navy blue. And we had, like, red shirts.
Like, I honestly wouldn't mind having a uniform, like... Because the dress code at my school is ridiculous and inconsistent, and if they just had uniforms, it wouldn't be like that. Like, you get boys wearing cutoff shirts that literally show their nipples. But girls can't have shorts that don't go past mid-thigh.
Oh, for us,
but it depends on the time of year, because they'll say that and then they'll just completely forget about it. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, well,
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we, I like, they've gone through back again, like, kids being sent home because they're not wearing the proper school clothes, like, they don't like kids wearing dolly shoes at school, because if something happens and they drop something on their foot, or, like, something happens to their feet, they'd get hurt a lot more than if they were wearing normal shoes, and I'm like, and then our parents are like, they should be able to wear whatever they want, and I'm like, most of these kids are going to end up working somewhere that requires a uniform. That requires them to look smart. Like, there's not many jobs in the world where you can go to work wearing whatever the fuck you want to wear. There is going to be a dress code. I don't get why school can't be used as a way to teach kids, you're going to have to do this.
Yeah, even at strip clubs they have dress code.
Yeah. Like, it's just a thing, you know, like, I've worn a uniform. Like, I can show you my uniform. I just chucked it on the floor behind me. Like, I wear a uniform every day I go to work. I've got a t-shirt for work that I wear every single day. You know? It's not hard, and I have to do that. I'm an adult. If I went to work
Yeah.
wearing this, my manager would send my ass home and I wouldn't get paid. You know? So why not the same in school?
Yeah.
How long have we been rambling?
Like,
Too long.
45 minutes. We got to do your news yet, haven't we, Ackbar?
Really, the Ackbar news is the next bit. And to be fair, we're actually on track because the introductions are meant to take about 40 minutes and they took 20 minutes. So
Oh, damn.
our rambling filled in the gap that everyone had a boring week, so no one was talking about their week. So fuck you,
Hey,
Ackbar.
I had an interesting week.
You did. I also had already rambled for 45 minutes about my week, so there was no point in me adding to that. But we're basically on time, basically. Pretty much.
It's not my fault I have a boring week.
Well, you
Yeah,
made
y'all-
up for it with Ackbar.
Y'all should just get
news.
COVID like Anna and I did. Then you can have something interesting to talk
Dude,
about.
I'm down.
It'll be like, what is it, the chicken pox parties. We'll just get together to give each other COVID.
Let's go.
We should
They
have a
did that though, didn't they? Like in some universities and stuff around the world, they had like parties to get it.
Fucking
I was
think
reading
so,
about
yeah.
it. I was like,
Jesus.
People are fucking dumb.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ackbar, come on with your news. I'm gonna start eating some
Food?
peanuts.
I
You
am
remember
going
hearing
to eat
about
my
it during
sandwich.
H1N1. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, those are YouTubers. What my
Okay,
peanuts
so-
are the idiots.
Mm.
Anyway,
So-
Ackbar.
Tonight's local news. Eeyore the donkey has claimed the world record for the most sausages eaten in a minute.
Alright.
Along with that, an intense match was held today between the men's and women's restrooms, resulting in handicapped stalls taking the victory, while the men's urinals were penalized for illegal use of urinal cakes.
Illegal use of urinal cakes.
Yeah,
What's illegal about it?
they threw them.
Oh.
Oh, it's
Scooby.
Hi, Scooby.
Scooby, I love you.
You're so cute.
Scooby, you're such a good boy.
And here's our breaking. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. The cult classic movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off is getting a gritty sequel called Ferris Takes Manhattan, where he takes over Manhattan and turns everyone into rabbits who crave French toast and grape jelly.
Right, is that an actual thing or is that just a joke? I can't
Where's the
tell.
payoff of that joke? Where's the payoff of that?
I don't know. I'm
He just reads the news, he doesn't make it. Gee.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
like,
making this.
most of the time it's like, a knick-knack dealer tips over cow. It was the first case of a knick-knack paddywhack.
I like the joke.
An update on our first story, Eeyore has now been hospitalized for dehydration and claims that his depression has been cured for eating so many sausages.
What?
Oh, what?
On to our next story. Can a cat yodel the
Ackbar,
national anthem
hate
while peeing? And tonight, now over to England's news.
Well, fuck off.
Hell yeah, let's go!
The Queen tonight is holding a televised knit-a-thon where they will be making coats for postal boxes during the winter who are not privileged. And so since they have recently, many of them have caught hypothermia due to not having the correct amount of clothing on.
You sat in stream with two Brits, and that was the accent you went with.
Yes.
I can't wait for the Midwestern news.
Well, that's the thing. Midwesterners don't have an accent.
Oh, that's not true.
That's about all we do is say "oh."
No, it's not just the accent, Ackbar. You gotta get the vocabulary.
Fine, the vocabulary of using a
Excuse me?
the vocabulary of
What were
using
the words that you just said?
the vocabulary of using a bubbler and playing duck, duck, gray duck.
Duck, duck. Oh shit, is that a goose?
It's a yes.
I'm so scared of goose. Geese are scary.
They are.
And now to our main story, which the chat can also answer: is water actually wet?
No. Shut up. We're not doing that.
Haxa fucking always ends it with, and here's a question the chat can answer.
And then he never does anything else. He's just like, can fuck internet?
Now back
Yes.
to the politics with Ackbar.
And
Oh god, no.
politics. The U.S. has elected another old white male. Rich.
To be fair,
It do be like that.
to be fair though, I honestly fear for any woman that goes into power in England and America. Because if in England, like, America is just like England. I'm fucking telling you that for a start. We're so fucking similar, right? The two female prime ministers we've had have been made out to be the most evil two people in the world. If they could be burned as witches, they would have been burned as witches. They were both actually really good prime ministers and really
Yeah,
nice
I think
people.
Theresa May was alright, to be fair.
Margaret
Margaret
Thatcher.
Wasn't it
Thatcher was
Margaret
nice.
Thatcher and Theresa May?
I didn't
Yeah.
know her.
Margaret
Yeah.
Thatcher.
I wasn't born during her reign, but like, people got angry at her because of some of the things she did, which any fucking Tory would do. But they were more angry at her because
She
she
always
was a
fixed the
woman.
economy, didn't she?
She did.
Basically.
She was the one that signed off on the NHS.
Yeah.
Well, the problem I hear every time when they talk about putting a woman in power, it's always period jokes and menopause jokes.
Oh, we don't get that here. They never make jokes like that. They just treat them like they're bitches.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, now that Joe Biden is in power, we already had Trump hug the flag. So this time, Biden will most likely come up from behind and hug the flag without its consent.
Wait, before we go on with Ackbar's stupid stuff, I'm not implying that people burned as witches are evil. I'm implying that people are fucking stupid enough that they burned them because they thought they were evil. Like they would literally, honest to God, when Margaret Thatcher died, they put The Witch is Dead in the top 10 in the UK. One of our greatest prime ministers, and Ding Dong, The Witch is Dead was, I think he even hit #1.
Joe Biden is fictional.
That's terrible.
You know, it's not that they're evil, because I like them. I think Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher weren't as bad as people make out. Margaret Thatcher had to go through a lot of shit, and Theresa May got shafted by fucking David Cameron, but they weren't awful people. But people act like they were, and they would honestly have murdered them if they were able to.
Did you like Boris Johnson?
Me? I don't
Yeah.
like Boris Johnson.
There's a bell end.
I didn't mind David Cameron. It was just too posh.
I don't really remember much before.
True fictional.
The thing with David Cameron is that he never really wanted to get rid of the NHS or something because the NHS saved his kid. He wasn't in a private hospital. The NHS saved his kid, so he was pro NHS. And he stepped down because he did not believe the UK really wanted Brexit. And when he turned around, he was like, if Brexit gets voted through, I'll step down. He did it. He went through with it because he was like, I'm not going to be part of that. I wanted to stay in Europe. So, I didn't mind him, but Boris Johnson's just an asshole. A funny one, but an asshole.
At this point, I think we should just have George Costanza as our president.
I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
I think
He's-
Danny DeVito should rise to power.
The Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a duo. It'll be a duo. Danny DeVito as president and George Costanza as vice president.
George Costanza's VP. George
He could-
Costanza is
the guy from Seinfeld,
from-
the bald guy.
yeah,
Oh,
Seinfeld.
I know now.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I
But,
can't
what
think
was
of the actual actor.
Jason Alexander.
Oh God.
That's his real name. Since he'll actually be able to
yeah.
move. He'll actually be able to move the video game across the street. Right, Cherry?
Yep. Yes, sir. He has my vote.
Nah, I want The Rock.
You want to rock?
The Rock. Oh God.
Hey, I was there.
Big
I would have said Arnold Schwarzenegger. His tagline will be, "I will terminate the competition."
He couldn't be president, though, could he? Because he's not American.
Oh,
Yeah, he has to be born
He's
in
already-
America.
He's a governor,
Eckbar.
though.
Yeah, governor, yeah.
He's the governor of California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler
Oprah.
Perry.
I mean, Oprah would be okay, but she'd make all of our school lunches bread and tell us that it'll make us lose weight.
Oh God. I'm already like still reeling from Michelle Obama changing all the school food.
Yeah. I mean, we could have Tom Selleck as our president. He'll just try to make us buy insurance.
With a powerful mustache.
True.
Think we need to resurrect Wilford Brimley and elect him as
He
president.
died.
That's why I said
I
resurrect.
should resurrect
Oh,
that.
yeah. He'll make sure everyone doesn't get their ice creams or apple pies.
He'll make sure that school. Oh my gosh! Speaking about school and diabetes, schools need to be better about treating kids with diabetes because my friend who has diabetes has gotten fucking yeeted out of 2 schools because she's missed a lot of days for seizures.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
You
then
see,
it
you
was
eat out
right.
if you miss. Oh, fuck me.
I'm
That's
pretty
terrible.
sure that's how Wilford Brimley died. He had type 2 adult onset diabetes.
He did. And that's why he was very outspoken about diabetes, and he was actually a very good person.
Yeah. He was. As
I
someone
like how
who
this started as a joke, and now I'm just advocating for Wilford Brimley.
I mean, I'm probably. That's the thing. I probably still am probably getting close to maybe having pre-diabetes because of how we eat. And I'm like, if I ever get it, I'm gonna be like, well, now I'm an official American.
Let's go.
You can't be an American if you don't have diabetes or own a gun.
If anyone's walking in
I
on
don't
that
have either of
statement,
those
I do not endorse that statement at all. I'm also not American, so I don't really care.
I mean, we have the amount of fast food that we eat here is scary.
That's why you just gotta live in the country.
No,
Then,
well,
whenever you go to the city, that's when you eat fast food. But you only go to the city like once a month.
well, I mean, the South. If you live in the country, they make the food a lot more unhealthy, or so. The way they cook it.
Like, what?
That's
Well-
the Southern cooking is. It tastes really well, but it's extremely unhealthy.
Same banana, neither am I. I don't got diabetes and I don't own a gun.
I mean,
I got stomach problems, does that count?
am I wrong though, Punky?
I'm just letting Ackbar
That's the
dig his
thing.
hole. Every week I just sit here and I'm like, keep digging, Ackbar. I won't have to fucking kill you. Someone else will.
I already
I live
told you
closer,
how-
I'll take the burden.
I mean, it is accurate. My mom grew up in Southern Indiana, and that's the thing. She said her mom made when she made bacon, she put all the grease. She kept the grease in it or so, and all of it. And if you look at all the places that are down south,
You know
I'm not
what that
saying-
reminds me of? Right? There's this famous celebrity. He's actually Australian, but he's more famous in the UK really than in Australia, I think. And he got arrested and charged. I think we talked about this last week or at some point. He got arrested and charged for being a paedophile. And I knew a 16-year-old at the time that went, he can't possibly be a paedophile because my mum met him once and he was really nice to her. That's what you sound like right now. I know because my mum used to live there or had family there that everyone there is much more unhealthy than we are. One person, Ackbar, one person.
well, I mean, if you look at it, a lot of the southern food places have a lot more unhealthy.
I can't be racist, I have a black friend. Exactly.
Yeah. I can't believe Banana over here not liking eating corn by itself. How dare she? How can you live in Nebraska and
Wow.
not like corn on the cob? We're
I
the
love
third
Right,
corn
on top
state.
before.
The best
The
corn,
third
in my
corn
opinion,
state.
sweet corn is the best corn.
Yeah, we're more known for cows.
I like
We have
sweet
a-
corn.
The sweet corn's good.
We have a 2-to-1 ratios cow to person.
We have
There's only like 200 people where you live, though, isn't there?
In my village, there is Nebraska has a population of
That's so true, Punky. That is so true. If you look at like
quick,
Paula
Banana,
Dean,
look up the population of Nebraska.
freaking, you know Paula Dean, right? Cherry,
What?
Paula Dean.
Paula Dean? Butter?
She's the lady. She puts like 20 pounds of butter on every food, Anna. Literally every food she cooks. She like, we'll put in 20 sticks of butter and it'll taste good.
See, I used to watch Ready Steady Cook, which was a TV program. Like, I could possibly find an episode of that to watch after this is all done.
I remember that. I
But
think.
I used to love it because it used to be like proper old-fashioned English chefs mainly, and like then they sprinkled in like they had James Martin, who was like a younger one, and they had Gino D'Acampo, who's this really in England famous Italian chef who's hilarious and everyone loves him. But like the old-fashioned one, like Anthony Worrell Thompson, he'd sit there and he'd lob a thing of butter in a pan and be like, unlike those healthy young chefs, I believe that adding butter to the mix makes it taste better. So here, have butter. And like, everyone I know cuts the fat off of meat. And the reason I don't was because literally on Ready Steady Cook, I can't remember if it was him or the other one that I liked, which was an old Irish one, said that if you cook like it in a certain way and then you do like sear the fat on the edge, the fat actually tastes nicer than the meat because it absorbs all the flavour. So like, I love fat on my meat because I can make it taste nicer than the fucking meat. And then people say,
Yeah.
why are you eating the meat? And I'm like, because it's fucking tasty.
I cut off my fat. That is one thing that, like, what was it? Punky was saying, or so they do down south. They do cook. Their vegetables are a lot more fresh than up here, since they're not. They don't have all the added GMOs and the other crap that they put in the stores and stuff. You know what I mean, Cherry?
Nice answer, Cherry.
Genetically modified organisms, fictional. I took agriculture.
Do we really want to see deeper into Ackbar's mind?
That's the thing.
I
that was
think we do,
annoying.
TBH.
In school, they they forced us to take agriculture. And it was hilarious since my mom, who grew up in the South, was talking to the agriculture teacher, and she's like, "You are trying to teach city kids how to farm,"
Maybe
which
we
is
should.
like,
Ackbar, learn how to farm. We could live on a giant farm, just us lot, if only you knew how to farm, Ackbar. This dream
To
isn't
be
going
fair-
ahead because of you.
Eric can take care of the
Sometimes.
cows.
Sometimes kids in the city think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. So maybe maybe they need to learn.
well, I mean, GMOs aren't completely normal. Fictional. They come from, they're altering the originality of it, or so. The one
I
thing
mean,
that
I'm just feeding the cats outside.
they did teach us.
I'm
one thing.
just shaking my head at Ackbar.
There is one thing they did show us, which was this really terrible documentary. I probably mentioned it before, Food Inc. Or so. Which
Coloring.
Explain.
it was pretty much, it showed behind the scenes on how some farmers, when they take care of their animals, they pump so much fat into the animals to make them more, well, like fat, since once they do that, the flavor gets more rich, and there's a lot more to cook, so they can sell it easier. It's just
That's
sad.
that's not the only reason. They don't make their cows so obese that, well, it depends
I
on
mean,
the farmer.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. They were showing that, yeah, like Tyson chickens and stuff. They gave them food that purposely made them extremely more fat. So,
Yeah, I don't know about chickens. I only know about moo-moos.
and that's the thing. They put them in such an enclosed. Some of them never even got to see daylight, since they put them in such an enclosed space.
Yeah, that's why there's the whole controversy between free-range and caged chickens.
Yeah, especially with. Yeah, they couldn't move. Oh, you've seen it too, Punky, I assume?
Well, and the biggest problem I have is that people who talk about organic foods, it's not actually like organic, because the only way you can call something organic if you haven't, like, you can call a cow's meat organic if you haven't given them like steroids or something in 30 days. So 30 days before you sell the meat of the cow, you can call it organic once it's butchered and sold, because you didn't vaccinate it, you didn't give it anything to make it better, even if you have since it was born, you can still call it organic. The same with plants and shit, and you get more money with organic foods, but organic food isn't necessarily better for you. But you can get more money from the government if your food is called organic.
Yeah, plus that's the thing. It's also another part which is messed up with the whole food system in America in general. How the more healthier food is more expensive than the actual not healthy food.
Yeah.
Which is just
That's
messed
a big thing here. Like, they in the UK, there's this big thing about that you're not allowed to use mascots to sell food anymore. So like Tony the Tiger and all that can't be in adverts anymore. And they've got like sugar taxes on Coke and things like that. And it was all to fight obesity. And I was like, yeah, but bearing in mind how difficult it is for like anyone to keep vegetables and stuff fresh for a long time, and how expensive they are, it's still cheaper. Like, I've got a customer that comes in every single day to buy her food every single day in our store, right? Every day she'll buy her food in the store, and she never buys fresh vegetables because even if she bought them just to last a week, they wouldn't last. or if they, and it's just so expensive. And instead of like bringing down the cost on that food, they're making the bad food more expensive. And it's like, yeah, but then people just won't have any money to buy anything. And they're still not going to eat healthy. They're going to eat even more unhealthy. Because they're still going to eat the unhealthy food because it lasts longer. But they're also not going to eat at good times or enough of what they need to eat because they don't have anything.
This is why like people in Japan and China live a lot longer than people who live here in the US and probably in the UK too, since they're a lot of food they grow the food themselves and eat it.
I know England's kind of good with that. Like, obesity in England means a completely different thing than it does in America.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, in America, most of America is just obese or so.
Like, the thing in England is, like, when you say someone's really obese, you mean, like, someone who's little less fat than this, or a little more fat than this. Like, I'm obese, right? I'm obese. Then you see documentaries in America of people going on about obese people, and they need to be, like, lifted with a fucking crane.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen that often. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not, like, the norm.
Yeah, it's not as normal as it is here.
But we also, like, regardless of the supermarkets and stuff, we are still mainly, like, farming communities and stuff. So other than the big cities and stuff, you still get the fruit and all that, and healthy meals, and you'll have people who've had recipes for food handed down through generations, so they still eat relatively healthy. Or, the other hand, just too poor to eat, so they don't have an obesity problem because they don't have any food.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm pretty sure that just kind of comes back to the whole capitalism thing here in the U.S. How we direct. What is it? Let me think. How we pressure more people. We pressure to make food more tasty by using less resources or so. You know?
Yeah.
That's why like a lot of people, I would personally would prefer having food from someone's farm than from an actual factory, like they said, since at a factory they inject it to make it taste better or something, so it'll sell more. It's just a lot more pressure to put on money than the actual quality of the food and stuff in general.
I just found out the life expectancy of the United Kingdom and Canada are pretty close to Japan, actually.
Ooh.
Japan's 84, Canada's 82, the United Kingdom's 81. America's not that bad, it's 78. That's still, like, good.
That's not 32. It's better than most.
Yeah.
Like, India's at 69, which is a cool number, but damn.
Nice. But also not nice.
Yeah.
But also nice.
Do we want to go back to talk about Doctor Who? I did promise Doctor Who.
Yes. I want
Talking about how David Tennant's the best Doctor, yeah.
He's not the best Doctor, though.
the best Doctor. Well, let's all be realistic here. Tom Baker's objectively the best Doctor, but David Tennant is a good Doctor, and no one can convince me otherwise.
No Doctor is objectively the best. There's no such thing. Everyone likes a Doctor based on when they were introduced to it, based on writers for it, and so on and so forth.
Hugh Laurie's the best Doctor.
Who?
He's talking about House.
Yeah.
He was trying to be funny, but he's not being funny.
Ackbar.
So it's just the usual.
Yeah. My favourite's Colin Baker. I think he's a very misunderstood Doctor.
Anna, do you know what we need to do sometime?
What?
We need to sit here and watch a bunch of Whose Line Is It Anyways on stream.
I love Whose
Yes,
Line.
I love Whose Line.
Since it's the exact same cast as it is in the UK as it is in America or so.
Yeah.
I love Colin Mockery on that.
How care me? I'm sorry, I don't know House. I apologize.
Wow. You're not a real person who watches TV.
I don't watch TV. We're too poor to have cable.
This isn't even on cable.
We
I
don't
don't know.
have TV.
The thing
Oh.
is, like, you don't know House at all, do you, Sherry?
No, I don't think so.
Right, House
He's-
is really, really serious. Like,
No, he isn't.
it's a serious drama. Like,
yeah.
compared to what I'm about to show her, Americans think Hugh Laurie is a serious actor.
I know.
Oh,
That's what
I know House. I know House.
Right? This is how I grew up. Wait a minute.
Oh, are you gonna show them Laurie and Fry?
No.
Oh.
I hope this is the right thing.
That's pretty much the only thing he's known for over here, House.
Yeah, well, he's known for a lot of things here because he's really famous here. Not that one. Where's the other? Chrome. It's not that Chrome.
We should watch. Oh,
This. Wait.
manga reader.
Yeah, that's that link doesn't work. I just never delete links.
Oh,
No,
Black
that's
Adam.
the right one. This. Maybe.
Members of the House of Commons, I call upon the new Prime Minister of Great Britain and her...
The first
Come here.
evil dictator, Napoleon Bonaparte.
My cat's meowing off in the distance because he feels abandoned, but he just keeps walking away and getting confused.
That is literally every cat. If you're not like 5 inches away from them, they'll start yelling about how you're not close to them.
My cat never did that. My cat didn't like being close to anyone.
Well, your cat's British.
Wow! My cat was traumatized, I'll have you know. Anyway, on TV. And then he went to America and did a really serious thing. And now everyone thinks he's a serious actor. And I'm like, no, he was an idiot on TV. But yeah, that's Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, I know that guy. I've seen a couple episodes of House. I just thought you were talking about something different because I always assume I have no idea what's going on.
He's basically just, like, took over a Doctor Who chat to talk about crap.
He really, and then he left.
Wait, he's left?
Sean?
Yeah, he gone.
Sean just yeeted.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, Ackbar, you're back. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Oh, I
Thanks.
didn't see it said... Mr.
had to-
Bean. Mr. Bean's, he almost looks like... He doesn't look anything like Rowan Atkinson. It's a lot more fucking serious than Blackadder was fictional. And Hugh and what was it? Jeeves and Wooster. Oh, I love Jeeves and Wooster.
Oh, Wooster and Jeeves. My mom used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, no, it's a good short show. I loved watching Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean's one of my favourite. I love the 2 movies as well.
Yeah, I
Mr.
like Mr.
Yeah.
Bean growing up.
I liked it.
I've seen it in ages though.
I watched it
And-
not long ago. Hello.
You should show the first clip of the link I posted in the podcast ship post.
I'm not putting, like, I might get away, maybe, a little bit, with having a clip out of context of Blackadder on the VOD. I don't think I'm going to get away with having the Daily Show on it.
Oh.
We'll watch it when we stop the recording, Ackbar, because we're going to
Oh,
watch a load of stuff, aren't
okay.
we? We're going to watch,
Yeah.
like, the
Probably,
Crystal
yeah.
Maze and stuff, so we've
We're
got
gonna watch
time.
everything.
We're just going to hang for the night.
He's just very excited. He gets
I am.
excited.
is excitable.
I'm very excited for you to see it. It's very funny.
He's excitable. Ackbar's are like the puppy.
He is the puppy. You don't like. The thing is, every time we start the podcast, he makes it sound like we drag him on here. But honest to God, when I told him that I wanted him on the podcast, he was so fucking excited. Like, every message about the podcast I get from him is so excitable. He loves this. That's why I made him the co-host, was because he liked the idea of it more than I did. Like this is literally all Ackbar looks forward to in his life, is the podcast.
It's sad.
This is the only,
He
this is
messages
the
me
only
all the
thing
time
that's
about
me
it.
up on a Sunday.
Then as soon as he unmutes himself and comes on stream, he's like, "Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, podcast.
Hello.
Yeah, podcast." And
That's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
he's the one that's excited.
That's the thing. I'm a lot more chill in real life.
I don't
He
believe
fell,
that.
He fell into my fucking DMs yesterday. Like, I posted in my Discord.
I was just thinking of the clip I posted of Gibby. It was the one of when Gibby falls down from the ceiling.
I posted in Discord, guys, I'm not answering DMs at the minute because I'm too depressed. I can't do DMs when I'm depressed. I'm not DMing anyone. And then Ackbar, it wasn't even that long after, just post this gif of someone falling. It was like, oh, so this is where I fall. And I was like, Ackbar, I'm not talking to anyone in DMs right now. Get the fuck out of them.
First of all, that was yesterday, and you posted that on Friday.
Alright, fair enough.
So I thought you would have been fine by.
Sean, get out of the ham fam. You're doing a stream.
Yeah, Sean.
Oh, you're obviously looking at it.
I have Discord up, but I'm not typing in it, am I?
Ooh.
See what I mean? We're not good enough for Sean. I knew this was going to come.
Wow. I thought Chad would be here for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Ackbar. I'm ignoring everyone. But yeah, is there anything else? Anything else? Or are we going to end the podcast official and go into just watching crap on YouTube together?
Yes, this has been probably the most political tense POGCast we've had yet.
I know.
It has been.
Second episode. So.
We've had 2 episodes, Ackbar.
I always get very nervous talking about politics because I mean I'm more right wing than I am left, and I know a lot of my friends are left. So
Yeah,
I try I don't want to fight, so I'm just like.
That's the thing. I live in a household with my mom, who is more left, and my dad, who is more right, and so I like a bit of both sides, but it's hard to talk about the right since, yeah, like you were saying,
Yeah.
a lot of people in this community or so is very left winged.
And I get like I just that's why I don't really talking about politics at all, because I'm like, what's the point? If we're just gonna fight, unless it's just the most basic part, like they debate. We have a president. That's the level of politics I'll talk about.
Yeah, the thing is, I rather joke about it than actually talking about it.
I like
Since
talking
it's-
about it because I like listening to other people's points of view.
Well, yeah, that, but the only way I'll sit down and actually watch something news related or political, then again, this is probably due to our media being so over dramatic with stuff. I'd rather watch the late night shows like Colbert, Fallon, or The Daily Show than the actual news. Since it's not as depressing, and it's still and it's still actually tells the facts. It still gets the same point across. And that's just sad that the thing is, our news, I don't know how, is your news very dramatic or no? Or is it just, like, straight facts?
Like, do you hear more good news or more bad news?
It's really balanced.
Usually more. Yeah,
Ours
That's
is
the-
very
ours
unbalanced.
Yeah, it's like, if it's like as a lot of them have said, we try and take the images of people. The news, they feed on images of people crying and being sad.
The problem with American news is like everything else, it's trying to make money.
Yeah.
Whereas the UK, like we've talked about it before, England don't have a lot of news channels. Like the BBC and ITV and Channel 4 and Channel 5 all have a news show that goes on for like an hour. They do it at lunchtime, they do it at tea time, and it's something that families will sit down and watch. And then we've got like Sky News and BBC News that go all the way through the day, like ticking along with the news as it breaks. But it's just reporting what happens during the day, because the BBC doesn't make money. The BBC makes money through the
It's a non-profit then?
TV license.
That's it, the TV license. It's funded through the TV license, and then it's given a grant from the government.
Oh, so it's more like PBS, a non-profit organization, or...
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. But, like it doesn't... It has... No, like, the ratings get affected, but no one's paying attention to the rating for the news. The BBC have to report the news. Like, that is part of what they have to do. To be the BBC, they have to report the news. It's part of their charter. So it doesn't matter if ITV get more views for their news, because BBC need to do the news. So ITV isn't fighting with the BBC, and I think they even put their news on at 9 o'clock. You know, like the news is on at different times for different channels, but none of them are fighting each other because, like, there's no point. The BBC have to have news, and the others want to have news. So, whereas in America, they're all fighting, and unfortunately, horrible things sell because people are interested to see, like, what horrible things have happened.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's exactly like that. We have like Fox News, which is aimed towards Republican candidates. It's not equal. That's why no matter what Trump said, even every stupid thing Trump said, they had to agree because they are a very right-wing channel. Or you have Sinclair, which is a company who owns local news stations who tell the news people this story has to go on today, no matter what. It's this story or so. Where you have places like you said, you have a news station, a channel that goes on all day. We have like CNN News, which is just 24/7 straight news, nothing else. And the annoying thing, like they said, I forgot what it was, but there was a very terrible event that happened over the past few days, of a tragedy or so. But during those days, CNN was the whole time, it was just a whole tribute remembrance of the Titanic. When something else important, actually newsworthy was happening.
Yeah, like we are, as I said, we have the BBC and we have Sky News, and the BBC aren't. The funny thing is, everyone always says the BBC are biased towards whoever they don't like. So, like, a lot of people say they're biased to the Conservatives. A lot of people say they're biased to Labour. I don't see it, honestly, when they're reporting
I don't see
news.
much of that, to be honest.
No, because they're not meant to be.
More balanced. Yeah,
they have to be partisan. They're just there to report the news. But they have a 24-hour news channel. But, like, they'll be there. Like, I remember, this is going to be such a weird thing to remember, but when there was a guy called Raoul Moat who went crazy in the UK, and he shot, like, a police officer. I think he shot someone else, and there was a manhunt for him and stuff. And the BBC and Sky News, they covered it. You know, they had people on the streets. They didn't go off of it, but they weren't showing graphic things either. They were keeping people informed and keeping them safe, because there was a madman with a gun on the loose, you know?
Oh, yeah. While here, I grew up with videos of, let's watch this guy from Saudi Arabia or somewhere behead someone live on TV.
Yeah, see, that wouldn't happen here.
That happened here. They show people getting shot. They show dead people. They show whatever graphic thing is. Because the only graphic thing I will be fine with is during, I think it was the Vietnam War or so, there was a reporter who actually went out of his way to show what the Americans were doing. They were burning down villages or so.
Well, you see, we that doesn't happen on our news per se, but we have like undercover or not undercover, but like we have things like Panorama that will do that. So they'll go and they'll uncover horrible things that can't be shown on the news because, BBC News needs to be accessible to kids. And ITV needs to be accessible to kids.
That kind of stuff's just more showing like documentaries and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like after
But like the BBC
like
cover
version
them.
of Michael Moore or so.
Well, no, the BBC, they just got to be careful, don't they? Because, like, especially those channels, they're channels that are accessible to everyone. So, and, like, we've got, what are they called? I was going to call them Oxfam for a minute. They're not Oxfam. Ofcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, if you get in trouble with Ofcom, you are going to be fined. And people fucking complain about any fucking thing.
That's what's also really interesting. How I know in the UK, like you guys don't you have a pollution fine that people actually have to pay or so?
You mean
like, what was it? Clean air. If if a company produces too much, air pollution, they get fined or so.
Probably. I thought you were talking about that thing in London. What's it called? If you drive in London. I can't remember what the charge is called. I had to pay it once when I went to London. Charge for driving in London. Congestion charge. So in certain parts of London, because of how busy it is, you have to pay the congestion charge, which is basically a pollution charge.
That's the thing here in the US. If you're a company, well, not exactly that, but here in the US, if like a company produces so much amount of pollution, too much or so, they're supposed to pay a fee, but usually they can just pay off the person or so to make them not pay the fee or so. We're pretty much, Americans aren't humans, we're just more care about money.
I feel like you should make that generalization, Ackbar.
And on that bombshell, we're ending the podcast. Join in next week. Last week, he compared me to Donald Trump. This week, he's saying all Americans aren't human. Who knows what Ackbar's going to say next week? You have to tune in to find out. I am ending the podcast, mainly because we're going to go and watch some TV together now. Off of the VOD, because the VOD will just get destroyed, and because I need to run downstairs quickly to get some water so I can take some painkillers, because my neck is hurting.
Yes, Banana.
We are fruit. Well, why am I saying we? I'm not American. I can be human. Fuck Americans. I'm human.
Wow. I'm good.
Well, I mean, it is
true. To be fair, last week, Ackbar did try to act like the UK is in medieval times still, and we wouldn't know what the fucking film Ghosts was. Like, literally, my cousin was listening to this conversation, and it was like, he does realise it was like one of the biggest films in the 90s.
I wasn't alive then, Anna.
Exactly, we're fruit. Banana and I are fruit.
Well, the reason I asked was, since I know, like, you know the movie, you ever heard of the movie The Producers, Anna?
Yes.
It's not allowed in Germany.
Well, no, because that's got Nazi depictions in it.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering. I didn't know if any, since...
There's a big difference between a country that, created the Nazis and have very strict rules against them because they're terrified that something bad will happen, banning something that has Nazis in it, and England banning Ghost.
Well, I didn't know how strict
Too
your
spooky.
rules are, so...
Too spooky for
Now I'm just
England.
thinking about Ghostbusters.
Germany has relaxed their Nazi thing, by the way, a lot. Like, you can have Nazi stuff in Germany, but it's very highly, like, they have warnings and stuff, because they have an anti-Nazi... Why am I talking about this? At the end of the fucking play, I hate
Yeah.
Ackbar sometimes. But yeah, no, they have like a anti-Nazi thing. So like a country a city voted in a highly right-wing party not that long ago, and
Over
they
here,
put them under lockdown to sort them out.
over here we have
Illegal.
Nazis.
I'm well aware, Ackbar.
Yeah.
We're well aware of neo-Nazis. We're well aware of what's going on in the world.
That's nice to know that at least you guys know what's going on in other parts of the world.
Yeah,
we don't.
I think this has a very strict policy on tandem pottery. I just sometimes
Yes.
I'm ending on
Yeah,
that
send the
note.
pod.
And then I'm gonna go get some water, and we're gonna start watching The Crystal Maze. So remember, the podcast is every Sunday between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. We start in UK time. What is that? EST?
For
3:30?
Central Time,
No,
that's
that's not what I meant. I meant GMT. I know what I'm talking about. My headache is not making me think I'm in America.
You're an American now, Anna.
I like being human, thank you.
You know what?
46
Being-
I mean, technically we
I'd rather
are
be a fruit.
British.
Hey, I'm Native American, alright?
Oh,
A Native American fruit.
oh, then both of us screwed you over there.
Yeah, all y'all.
Anyway,
That's why you own casinos now.
right.
Oh my god.
Well, that's I'm not kidding. That's how.
Anna, just mute Ackbar and that'll sort it.
You're right. He's left. He left. Wow. And I'm not that bombshell. I'm saying goodnight. Yeah, join us because we do a post-show thing. We have people join us in voice chat. We watch YouTube stuff that can't be put onto YouTube again in a VOD. So we're gonna watch a thing of Jeopardy. Maybe we're gonna watch some Crystal Maze, maybe some Gladiators. We're gonna watch stuff with whoever sticks around because I believe Jeffrey is going to go live in a bit, so we might lose a lot of followers. They won't unfollow me, they're just going to go. They're viewers. They're going to unfollow me because I'm streaming at the same time as Jeff. Like, fuck this bitch, just unfollow. Yeah, so yeah, come hang out with us and listen to Ackbar firsthand
Ramble.
being racist to every race in the world. Like even his own.
Technically, it's not racist.
It's not racism if he's doing it to himself.
Well, yeah,
I also we'll talk about this after the pod, but
it's not racist if you make fun of everyone.
Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.